Have you ever felt so down that getting out of bed and getting dressed feels like a chore? Brushing your teeth feels exhausting, and you just don't see the light. You don't see the pain you're in ever coming to an end. You don't see how things can get better. Maybe you lack any faith at all. I have felt this way on and off throughout my life. And actually, since getting sober 2 years ago, it has come more often than before, though I'm better at navigating it. But, you know, life on earth right now is kind of wild, whether you've gotten sober or not. And the other day it was kind of rough. I was in a rough place, and I realized, you know what? I don't have faith. In hard times, I don't have faith. It's a lot easier to have faith when things are going well and everything's aligned and, money's flowing in and everything is jolly. But I want faith when things are tough. How do you have faith when things are tough? I have no idea. I didn't know. But I decided that I would find out how. I would find out how to have faith. What does that even mean? What does that feel like when things are rough at the moment, when you're feeling like you're in a rough patch? I don't know, but I decided I'm going to find out. So I did what anyone would do. I opened TikTok, probably to avoid, not in search of faith, but to avoid whatever I was supposed to be doing. And the first video I find is a mother talking to her grown daughter about a mustard seed of faith. The mom knocked on the bathroom door and said, "I've been thinking. All you need is a mustard seed of faith, okay?" And something about the way she was explaining it really clicked for me. I had heard this before, have a mustard seed of faith, but I never knew what it meant. And the reason it confused me is because I have grown mustard before. It's a green, and then the seeds can be used to make mustard. I love mustard greens, but the plant isn't necessarily big or large or massive or, extraordinary, besides the fact that it's delicious. So why would they refer to a mustard seed of faith when the plant is just very regular? Why wouldn't they use a seed that becomes like an oak tree or something? That always confused me. I don't know why, it just did. But the way this mother was talking to her daughter in this moment in time, it just clicked for me. The reason is because the mustard seed is so small. That's all you need when it comes to faith. When you're wondering how things will work out, how you'll, build your business or get out of a rocky situation or pay for school or whatever it may be, you don't need a mountain worth of faith. You just need a mustard seed worth of faith. Tiny mustard seeds are tiny, like this big. So when you're in bed and you're like, how will I go on? You don't need a mountain worth of faith. You need a mustard seed worth of faith. And when the mother was explaining this, it actually helped me get out of bed. I was like, I can do that. I can have a mustard seed worth of faith. Tiny. I can do tiny. So I got up and I was feeling a little more hopeful, and I opened up my journal where I have my goals and intentions for the year of 2025 that I wrote back in January. So I decided to go through the list and give myself a refresher and see what I can work on, and apparently what I've already accomplished, because some of those things were crossed off. And some of the items on the list were quite vague. One of them was spend more time with animals, which I meant it. I love animals. But what does that mean? So I asked myself for clarity on that. Well, I don't want to, besides my dog, I don't want to pet an animal. I don't want to go pet a bear. And I don't want to go to the zoo. I just want to see and witness animals in nature. Okay. Well, what animal do you want to see? I asked myself, what animal do I want to see? The first thought that came to my head was an eagle. The next thought I had was, you're never going to see an eagle. There's no eagles around here in this metro area. What a downer, huh? And I went back and forth in my head. Well, it'd be nice to see an eagle, but you have only seen an eagle once out in the country 10 years ago. You're never going to see an eagle. What a downer, geez. What a downer. But that's a habit I have of talking to myself like that. But still, the first thought I had was see an eagle. And then I moved along. I think the negative thought won, but the conversation happened, and then I moved on the list and looked at other things and then put it down and took my dog out for a walk 30 minutes later. Just a short walk, just around the block, and we go out onto the main road, and there's a bunch of trees out there, and we're walking, and I hear a sound that I've never heard before. Interesting sound. Okay, let's keep walking. We hear it again. Even my dog notices, and he never responds to animal sounds. If he sees them, sure. A squirrel, forget about it. But animal calls like that, no. But he's looking around, and I'm looking around. We hear the sound again. Let's follow it, I say. So we walk 30 more feet. We hear it again. It's coming from up in the trees. My dog looks up. I look up. 2 eagles. 2 sitting on a branch right there up in the tree. Bald eagles. Bald eagles. I've never seen them in this area. I've never heard of anyone seeing them in this area. I couldn't believe my eyes. I doubted myself. I go, those aren't eagles. They look exactly like eagles. They can't be. But I'm grinning from ear to ear because I know they're eagles. One of them is eating something, some animal. I can just see furry something hanging down. And I'm smiling and I'm looking in the tree, and I stand there for a while like, wow, I just said, and then and there they are. And some cars drive by and they see me staring up in the tree. So they stop and they're snapping pictures, and we're going, because there's something so beautiful about seeing this bird, any bird, but this special bird. And this woman pulls up to me and she's taking pictures, and I go, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? She goes, 2 bald eagles. And she's laughing because earlier that day, her son made a joke because it was April Fool's Day about a bald eagle being out in the front yard. He came by to drop his kid off, her grandkid, to babysit. He goes, come check out this bald eagle. Haha, April Fools. And now here she is on the road looking at 2 of them. And we're laughing because we were both guided there, it seemed, to the same animal for different reasons. And we were just smiling. And I stood there for 30 minutes looking at these birds because I knew this was a divine message from God. A message to have a little faith. A mustard seed of faith. And decide on things. Choose things. And then have the faith to move even an inch. Move, keep moving. But you have to decide and you have to move. And you'll find what you're looking for, and it'll find you. It was so clear that this was the message. I have never seen these birds here. I've never heard of them being here. I walk by these woods every day. It was so special. And then one of them took flight, and I literally cheered because it was so beautiful. The wingspan was massive, and it was just special. He went west, and then the other one took flight and went east. And I followed it. I'm like, let's follow it. And I'm running through the street like, whoa. And it landed maybe 100, 200 yards away in the tree in someone's backyard. I mean, I wanted to go on someone's front door and knock and say, excuse me, there's an eagle in your backyard. I feel like you should know. But I didn't. I just watched it. And then I said, okay, I received the message and I've observed its beauty, and I'm going to go home now. And I walked home just grinning. You know the feeling when something that seems so simple is just so magnificent, or because things align, or because you received a message from God. That was God telling me, decide on something and then move, get moving. And all you need is a mustard seed of faith. And listen, I was having a conversation and the negativity won, but that initial decision was met 30 minutes later. And that is rather fast. But that was the point. I think that was God saying, come on, have a little faith and choose things and then keep moving. You know what I mean? So I smiled all the way home, and for the rest of the day, and I posted it on the internet. I was like, I saw 2 eagles. I posted it on the neighborhood chat, and everyone was thrilled because they know it's so beautiful and special, and they said thank you. And this is the message that we all need, I think. Whether you're just getting sober, or you're going through a hard time, or you need a job, or the world just seems so crazy right now, we all need a little faith. Just a mustard seed. Look up a mustard seed if you haven't seen one before. Tiny. Or grow some mustard, because the greens are delicious. But that's all we need, is a mustard seed of faith, and to decide on something, even seeing an eagle, and then get moving. You can move at a snail's pace, but move. And what you're looking for, you'll find, and it'll find you too.